Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Plantz4mationz, and we have an amazing Plantz4mation here today. Someone I'm so excited about. I've been following his channel for a long time, and his channel is Raw Intuition. And we had a little bit of technical issues on my end here, so I apologize. I did want to read the intro I had set up here, though, actually. I will do it from the phone to make things quicker because in the midst of all that, I forgot to pull up the information here. That's okay. This is like live reality TV, right? Um, so this is Matt Bennett, as you guys probably already know if you're watching this. He is a holistic health educator with a passionate focus on raw living, food, and detoxification. Matt grew up with several common health issues, including asthma, eczema, dry skin, frequent congestion, and more. And after discovering the concept of a whole food, plant based, raw vegan diet and lifestyle in 2011, he witnessed healing of virtually all his childhood health conditions. He now enjoys inspiring people to eat more raw fruits and vegetables through his books, social media, and his monthly newsletter at myrawintuition.com. And we have all his links there. And I'm excited to hear a little bit more about this in detail from you. Welcome, Matt. I know you just hosted the game show that you like to come on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me, and thank you for being on the game show. It was a great show.
Was that just last week? I can't remember. Was it?
Yeah, it
I
was.
think it was. Yeah.
Last Sunday.
So I appreciate you coming on. And usually I just like to begin with, like, how was your childhood? Like, what did you eat when, I know you said in 2011, so I assume something changed there, but you
Yeah,
mentioned you had health conditions. If you can just tell us a little about how things began for you.
of course. Yeah, so I grew up like most people in America and in most Western countries, I suppose. Eating a standard American diet. A lot of fast food and frozen pizzas and other frozen meals and things. And I was, pretty sick kid for the most part. I had asthma ever since I can remember, and eczema right away when I was a baby, pretty much. So I don't really remember it, but my parents have told me stories of wrapping me in wet warm washcloths with cortisone cream, and all these creams for the eczema and my skin issues, and I was using my nebulizer for my asthma because I was always wheezing in my chest. And as I got a little older, I, had issues with, the typical acne and things, pimples. I would always have a little container of pimple cream that I would be applying almost every single day. I like wouldn't leave the house without it.
Right.
And so, yeah, that was an issue.
And as a kid too, we're like, we're so like trying to fit in with the world, So
Right.
that's a tough time for all that stuff, and that's when it usually happens. It's scary.
Yes, yeah. Um, and sleep was a huge issue for me too. Growing up, I had the worst insomnia. I was
Mm.
always I would like hold my eyes wide open for like as long as I could to like try and tire them out. So that was like what I thought was gonna work. But I would go some nights where I would just sleep like a few hours because I would just lay there just staring at the ceiling. And so that was an issue. Frequent colds and flus kind of plagued me. And then when I got into my teenage years, so heading into high school, when I was like 16-ish, I started to lose my hair, and that was like one of the most terrifying things for me. I kind of identified with my hair. I really enjoyed styling it, and just the girls would always try and mess it up, and then we would like play at the park, and so I kind of felt like I was losing part of my identity, and I was losing part of why people liked me. That was what I had in my mind.
Right.
So that was a driving force for me to start looking at what I was eating. My mom did always teach us that you are what you eat. So, within our, paradigm of what we understood to be, healthy and a
Right.
healthy diet, we would always try. She would make home cooked meals. I know I said I ate a lot of fast food and things, but she did she did make us a lot of home cooked meals. A lot of times it did come out of a box though, or a package, and so yeah, I was always looking at things like the waters that had like vitamins and things, and like Gatorade and things like this, because I saw that they had electrolytes and they had different vitamins and things, and I would get the cereal with the most fiber.
Right.
Even
Nine
though I did,
essential vitamins and minerals, right?
yeah, exactly. And I didn't even really understand what fiber was at that time, but I still, because they put it on the box, I figured it must be important.
Right.
So I would always look for that sort of stuff. And then it kind of just progressed from there. I kind of started to develop things like depression and anxiety
Mm.
during that time, and that lasted pretty much up until I got into this lifestyle. So when I was about 24, um I found this radio program that was talking about juice fasting, and I had actually, just a few weeks before that, my brother, who had received a juicer, wasn't using it, and he gave it to me, and so I got his hand-me-down Jack LaLanne juicer, the little centrifugal juicer, and so it was just sitting on my shelf for a few weeks since he gave it to me, and so I was like, I might as well give it a try. I just got this juicer, so I
What have
went
I got
out.
to lose, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I went to the grocery store, stocked up on fresh fruits and vegetables, went home, planned on just juicing for like 2 or 3 days. And at the end of that third day, I felt so incredible. My sleep was way better. My skin was looking way better. My energy levels were through the roof. I was starting to lose weight, even just I could just tell like I looked different. And so it was something that really kind of sparked my interest. And so I decided I was going to keep going. I ended up going 10 days on just fresh fruit and vegetable
Wow.
juices.
10
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
That is
My
amazing.
first go into it, I just went 10 days. And at the end of that 10 days, I was like a whole new person. Like I said, I was sleeping way better. My energy was way better. My digestion was way better. And that was another thing I didn't mention. I was always constipated as a kid. I would go multiple days between bowel movements, which I didn't know at the time
It's
was,
not right. Yeah.
yeah, I
I
just thought
went
that
like a
was,
lot of my life, not just as a kid, not knowing what it really was. I just
yeah.
want to say you have a fan there, or two fans already in the
Oh,
chat. Muriel, welcome. I think Muriel, if I'm not mistaken, you and Michelle, which is her daughter, I think recommended me to have you on, or requested you a while ago, and I finally was able to get in contact. And Sherry said, how could Matt be on your show without telling me? Love you. Happy Easter. We love you, Sherry. Love you,
yes.
Michelle.
I'm
Happy
so
Easter
sorry,
to
Sherry.
everyone. I forgot, I should have said that in the beginning. I got so excited about the interview. Everything
Yeah.
else, how vegans are. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I actually didn't know. I didn't realize it was going to be live. So that's why I didn't tell you, Sherry, because I thought it was just going to be posted later. So yeah.
Yeah, so we don't want to make Sherry mad.
No, I never want to do that. So yeah.
Thank you so much, both of you, for joining. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, great to see you both. So yeah, that's kind of where I got started. I felt so incredible after this 10 days of juicing. I just knew that this was something that I had to look into further, because I grew up thinking that you needed to eat animal protein to be healthy, that you needed to get calcium from dairy products, all these things that I went 10 days where I hadn't consumed any of those things, and I was feeling the best I had felt since I could remember. So I was like on a mission from that point on to learn more about fruits and vegetables, because I really didn't eat many fruits and vegetables other than out of a bag, maybe in the microwave a few times. But it's like, just, it was something that was strangely foreign to me. And so I learned more about fresh fruits and vegetables. I came across Dr. Robert Morse and John Kohler and Dan McDonald and Tanya Raw and a lot of these people that were, on YouTube around that time. And, a lot of the people from the Woodstock Fruit Festival when I was starting to get going. So I was having all these sources of inspiration and just like seeing other people doing this and, changing their life and their health. And so I had already experienced the beginning of that transformation. And so I don't think I mentioned one of the other big transformational shifts that I had in my experience during that time was the toxic thinking that had gone along with the weight loss, or sorry, the hair loss, and just some of the other things I was dealing with really started to subside. I had an apparent shift in the way that I was speaking to myself and the way that the awareness that I had of how I was speaking to myself. It was just becoming so apparent to me that that wasn't a sustainable way of like thinking if I wanted to enjoy my life. So I really worked on my mindset too after kind of becoming aware of this, thanks to the clearing of my mind that the fresh fruits and vegetables had already started to give me. So yeah, a lot of shifts that I experienced. And this was back in 2011 when I first started the juice fast and then started learning about all this stuff. I watched as many documentaries as I could. I read as many books, which is another thing. I never used to enjoy to read. I don't actually know that I read any books after school. So once I got out of
Right.
school, I hated reading. But then I started to learn about health, and I just wanted to read everything I could about health and diet and nutrition and all these things. So yeah, I mean that led me to where I am today. 13 years later, ish. Right around 13 years that I've been doing this, and all those health conditions just kind of melted away. And not that I'm perfect today, but I'm at a point today that is not even recognizable to where I was back then with my health, with just my inner relationship with myself, with just so many things in my life that have improved. And so I really enjoy sharing this message with people and teaching people how to utilize the powerful benefits of eating fresh fruits and vegetables, and living a holistically healthy lifestyle. So yeah, that's where I'm at today.
That is amazing. And it's really interesting to hear. Before I go to that though, and to say, hey Tessa, welcome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it. The couple of things stood out during your journey. I think we all come on this little path, and sometimes when we're already here, we want to like rush people to this point, and we realized for ourselves it had to start in these little, like, you found a podcast about juice fasting, which I know I say this every time I'm on, but that's what makes, I think, myself so passionate, and others to share, because you never know when somebody's going to come across a quick snippet of one of your videos or a live or something, or, you're sharing what you eat, and that it truly can make them like plant that seed to start looking into more, and then finding out. And like for me, it's been such a journey of learning, and this year mainly getting understanding holistic health, and that the body heals itself. And I know in your like bio it says detoxification specialist. Like, when did you realize like what the fruits and vegetables were doing? Or can you explain for those of us who don't, who might be listening and don't understand what actually healing is? Like, the body heals itself, right? Not, I mean, the fruits are the helpers, but
Yeah. Yeah, great point. And hey, Tessa, thanks for being here. So detoxification was like my first entryway into this lifestyle because I came across Dr. Robert Morse, and he was, teaching everybody about detoxification and what you what you don't eliminate, you accumulate in your body. And so that's where a lot of the toxicity is coming from, is that we have hindered, or we have obstructed our eliminative pathways to the point where we are no longer able to eliminate all of the, not only the environmental waste or environmental toxins that we all live in, because we are, a lot of people don't realize just how many, sources of exposure of toxins there are.
Yeah, I
From
just
our,
found out about toilet paper, right, recently.
exactly, yes, even toilet paper. And so, from our water to the pesticides in our food and heavy metals in our food, to our clothing, to, the furniture in our homes, the carpet, all these things have, different chemicals and synthetics in them that can impact our health. And so, it can be overwhelming if you think about all of it at once, but it's a journey of learning how to reduce your exposure as best you can. And so we do have, very intelligent bodies that know how to heal and how to detoxify themselves, as long as we give them the right environment. And so that was something that I started to learn, was just the importance of giving your body the right environment, and also learning about, especially in the beginning, it was mostly about, the food, and learning about, bioaccumulation of toxins that animal products contain, because the animals are eating feed that contain a lot of pesticides and different chemicals and heavy metals and things. So they consume that, and then we consume them, which, but at the same time, depending on what animal you're talking about, if it's, say, a fish, so the little fish obtain some toxins in their environment, then they get eaten by the bigger fish, and the bigger fish eats a bunch of the little fish. So their
And of
contamination
course, people
level.
that eat fish want the big fish, right? Like
Right,
the
exactly.
ones that are selected. So
We eat the bigger fish, the biggest fish almost. So they have the most toxins. So it's a bioaccumulation of all this stuff. And the same thing happens with the land animals, the cows, the pigs, the chickens. They're all accumulating all this waste, because most people don't realize a lot of the feed that they're given. A lot of farm animals in these factory farms and things, they're eating other ruminant animals. Cows get fed other pigs and sheep and dead cows that have died. And so, they get rendered up and put into the feed of these animals that would never be eating other animals, in nature. So it's important to understand that there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes that we don't really understand. And the best way to reduce your exposure to a lot of these, environmental chemicals in your food, is to eat the lowest on the food chain, which is plants. And so that was kind of my entryway into learning about, the importance of reducing the exposure from our food. But then, from Dr. Morse, learning about all the other eliminative pathways, the skin, which is what he calls the third kidney, because when our kidneys are responsible for, removing the waste from the blood. And so when they get clogged up, the body relies on the skin a lot of times. And that's why, people are eating these high protein diets, and they're, eating saturated fat and all these things that reduce the efficiency of our kidneys. And so the skin starts to be utilized as a pathway of elimination. And so you get a lot of skin issues, acne, all these different things. And so that was a big eye opener for me, and it explained to me why my skin improved so much after
right.
going on this juice fast for just 10 days. My skin, it started to just glow. And so, a lot of these things I was learning from him, I was receiving confirmation in my own experience. And
Mhm.
so, yeah. And then there's, of course, the lungs are pathway of elimination. A lot of people don't realize we eliminate a lot of toxins from, from breathing and exhaling. And so a lot of us are not in fresh air because a big part of detoxifying is bringing in things that don't add more toxins into our body, right? And so most people are breathing kind of toxic air. They're not getting good ventilation through their homes. Maybe they have mold issues, or they're breathing in air purifier or air fresheners, these different chemicals that people use in their homes for, to freshen the air.
You hear that, Dawn? I told you that stuff was bad.
Yes, it is. They're
We
endocrine
used to argue
disrupting.
about Febreze. Now she's on the same page with me, but
Nice.
it was funny. I was like,
Yeah.
"Don't spray
I
that.
used to
It's
use
bad
all that. I
for
used to use
you."
all that stuff too. I loved using that sort of stuff, which now I look back and I cringe because
Especially in
it's
my like late teens, early 20s, when the like I guess was Bath and Body Works stuff was out, and that was like all the candles and stuff. I'm like, I can imagine how many things I
uh
was breathing in, right?
yeah.
But that's interesting. Tessa said she didn't know that the skin is the third kidney, and I wanted to welcome Boomer and Beyond Wellness. She's amazing. I referred her to come on the game show because she knows every name of every part in the human body. She's a
Wow.
workout coach. I mean, I've never heard anyone with this much knowledge. I was like,
Wow.
yeah, if she had came on against me, I would have lost like.
Well, yeah. Hey, join the show. I would love to have. I don't have anybody scheduled for next Sunday. So if she wants to be on, that would be awesome. So
Third,
yeah.
yeah, about the third kidney. That's and I think like a lot of us don't realize a lot of the stuff that we experience, and that's why we get so excited to like to tell people. And you kind of look back at things once you learn something, you're like, oh, okay, that's why my skin cleared up, or that's why.
Yes.
And I know that one of the things that I love that you do though is like everybody can, might tell somebody something and say you should do this, but like I feel like one of the things you're really good at is putting it into like terms where people can understand how to get started and how to do it. And I know we want to go into your books, because Muriel, actually, I didn't get a chance to read that comment, said thank you for the recipe book, and
Oh
I know
yeah.
you probably have more out now than what I even shared on the thumbnail, but I was trying to crowd as much as I could on there. I'm like, you've got so much on there. I was like, I wanted to put the books too, but
Thank you.
when did you actually? Because it was the salad, the first book that you made, the 5-star salads.
Nope. So
No,
the
okay.
very first book was a children's book.
Oh, that's
So,
right. Yep,
yeah.
I saw that.
So this was my very first book, Vegan Adventures with Barnyard Friends, and I wrote this because I was so devastated when I found out about. Oh, thank you. When I found out about the truth about animal products, I used to think that we had to eat them in order to live, and I didn't have the connection that farm animals were just like my family dog.
Mhm.
I thought they were something completely different. And I worked at a meat counter, at a grocery store all through high school and
Oh
college. And
wow.
yeah, yeah,
I actually worked at one as well, like not for all through, but I did work at a Royal Farms for a while where we had this slice. And like I would be so traumatized now, but then you don't realize it. Like you
yeah,
haven't made that connection yet. It's just
yes,
it's when you make it, it's like you can't unsee it and so like everything in the world kind of like for a while you really have to kind of adjust. I think speaking of the emotional healing that happens when going raw and vegan, you're right,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
midst of that you're dealing with that type of guilt too.
100%. Yep, I saw the documentary Earthlings just a few months after kind of getting into this lifestyle. And that's really what made the connection for me. I started to really see the truth about animal products, and so I felt betrayed, and I was angry, and sad, and all these emotions when I saw that, and so I was just inspired to write a book that would help kids in a way, kind of make that connection in a non-graphic, fun, educational way, And yeah, so that was my first book that I published in 2017.
I
And
think what I was
then
hearing too, it's just like it's stories that connects them that animals are have feelings and their own adventures, right? Like
yeah,
for those that
yeah,
might want to grab it, because I think that's amazing. Like as vegans, we don't know how to. I don't have any young children, but like how to introduce even family members that I might want to, turn on to it. I think that would be a great introduction to not, so we don't want to slam kids over the head with like, here, watch
watch it.
Cowspiracy. They don't
Yeah,
understand what's going on there, but um,
right.
you know, I love it. Thank you for writing that.
Oh, my pleasure. Yeah, Tessa says her favorite celebrity read my children's book, so that's Alicia Silverstone. I
No way.
yeah, and she made a
Oh.
story of her and her son reading the book, so that was nice.
So technically, I had Alicia Silverstone on the show today. No, I'm just
Exactly. Yeah.
Wait, what is that? Degrees of separation. Don
Yeah.
used to do that with Kevin Bacon.
Oh, nice. Yep. Yep. Um. So yeah. So that was the first thing I published, and then the next book. So let's see. My first book that I actually published as like a paperback, because I had several ebooks that I made early on, that were that were okay, but I wanted to make a book like I enjoyed reading, that was like educational. It was easy to read, easy to understand, easy to apply, and so I wanted to make like an actual book that I felt like I could find at like a Barnes and Noble or somewhere in a bookstore. And so that the first one that I did was, and I've got them all kind of situated here on my bookshelf. But the first one was 21-day raw transformation program. And that's basically just my kind of my overall introduction to the raw vegan lifestyle, as well as the easy application, the practical, sustainable way, as a complete guide to a healthy and sustainable raw vegan lifestyle. And so I just give people a full understanding of what it really takes to do this lifestyle in a healthy and sustainable way. And yeah, I've gotten such great feedback on it. It's got a 5-star rating on Amazon, so I appreciate anybody that has put a review out there for me. I really appreciate that.
I will do that after.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody out there, if you know an author, or if you have a book, it's it's like the greatest compliment you can give somebody, to give them an Amazon review, because that helps their book get out there more. So super helpful for
You want
any
to go give
author.
Matt's book a review? Of course,
Yes.
you read it.
Yeah. If you're ready. Yeah.
Even if you haven't, no, I'm just playing.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know it's good. Come
Oh
on.
yeah.
We
Come
heard this journey. He's telling us to heal himself, so of course it's good.
Yeah. So that's where it started with my published books. And from there, so in 21-day raw transformation program, I do talk about the 5-star salad. But I didn't, so I, previous to 5-star salad revolution, I had 5-star salad mastery, which was kind of the first version of this book, but it wasn't up to the standards that I kind of had set for myself, especially after creating 21-day raw transformation program, and really seeing, a book that I was proud of, that again, I felt like, it resembled a book that I would find at like a bookstore, like, and it's actually like put together nicely. So I wanted to redo the 5-star salad mastery and turn it into something that was a little better put together, more organized, deeper information. And so I really dove deep into, why you want to eat greens, some of the benefits, some of the things to be aware of, some of the things you don't, you want to avoid, and also some of the myths and things that people have about greens. So yeah, that's my one of my, I took that picture too, of the lettuce. I was just
Did
like, wow,
you?
yeah. I had this massive head from head of romaine from the farmer's market. I was like, wow, this is like the perfect head of romaine. And so I just
It does.
took
I
took a
thought it
quick
was like a professional photo that you had done. I didn't know
yeah.
it. And
I
like I have this obsession. I know like also I take a lot of pictures of my cats, but I take a picture of my salad almost every evening. I've got like my entire phone, like Google is like always like your storage is full. I don't know what I'm gonna do with
mine
all
too.
salad photos, but I'm like, that looks really cool right before I eat it, you know? And
Yeah.
it's like, because it just looks so, like, I think that one always resonates with me because when I saw that, I thought I had, like, when I started this, that's what all I ate was one big salad every night. And that's
Yeah.
probably likely why I lost so much weight because I went from standard American diet to eating just a salad, but I got like so into it. Like I can remember Dawn watching me sit down one night and she's like, "You look so excited about eating that. Like it's making me want to eat salads." But it's like, so when I heard the 5-star salad revolution, I'm like, I gotta check this out. Is my salad like up to par? It was like, I want to know if mine's like 2 stars or what. So I'm like, do people come to you and like share their salad and say like, hey, what's going on? Is my and like I know we probably have a time constraint, but would you mind? I heard you on with Dr. I think Robbie on mastering diabetes, and I've
Hmm.
also heard you talk about it on maybe another interview with someone. And I was like, I just sometimes I've only thing that I remembered was like the pound of the romaine. I'm like, we need to find a nice big chunk like that. But would you go through it with us?
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. So you want the 5 pillars of 5-star salad?
Yes, like what
Okay.
and I know this is something if you're listening and you don't want to go completely raw like I am, you can always add this to your meals because I think this is something that could be healthy for everyone, right? To add more fruits and vegetables, I've heard you mention.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. The five. I mean, if you want to introduce somebody to healthy eating, without pushing like a vegan message on them, if you think that's gonna, turn them away, the 5-star salad revolution would be the one of my books that I would recommend. It's not necessarily focused on vegan. I mean, everything in it is vegan, of course, and I do mention it a little bit. Why it's important, but yeah, the salads you can add, doesn't matter what your diet is, adding a salad to your current diet, like a 5-star salad, is only going to improve the quality, the nutrient profile, your health, regardless of the rest of your diet. So yeah, adding a 5-star salad I think is important for anybody regardless of what their diet and lifestyle is. So the 5 pillars of a 5-star salad. So each pillar that you meet in your salad is going to give you a star. All right. So the point is to get all 5 of these things to create a 5-star salad. Most people are eating like a 1, maybe a 2-star salad. And so if you can get up to like 4 or 5 stars, I think you're doing pretty well. So the first pillar, the first star, is to have at least 1 pound of leafy greens in your salad. All right. So again, I hear from people when I tell them this that's like way too much greens. And really, when you think about once you try it, and again, you don't have to get to this right away. You can work your way up to it. But once you get to it, like for me now, a pound of greens is nothing. It's like hardly anything. 1 head of romaine, like on the picture or the cover of my book, that was over a pound. That was like 18 ounces, I believe. And so, it really isn't that much. So you can work your way up to it, but once you get there, you'll see it's really not hard. And so the other thing is that the reason why you want to have a lot of greens in your salad, you want to get that bulk, you want to get that volume, because we do have stretch receptors throughout our intestinal tract and our stomach that once they're activated, once the bulk of the food you're consuming stretches those receptors, sends hormones to the brain, and that allows us to understand that we're eating a substantial amount of food. Now, greens are going to be very low in calories anyways. So again, like JJ said, that's probably why she lost a lot of weight, is because you're gonna eat this big volume and you're gonna get such a low caloric density in that you're gonna start to feel full, but you hardly had any calories. So it's a great weight loss tool, especially for people that are on that path. Adding greens to your diet is only going to help you achieve your ideal weight. But yeah, hitting those stretch receptors is important. So having a good size salad, like a pound or more, is going to be.
What is your favorite to use with it? Is romaine? That's what was featured there, so I bet that's one of your favorites.
I do love romaine. Yeah, I don't. My favorite green. As far as like a base green, so I kind of separate them into two different categories. So the base greens are like the lettuces, in my opinion. Lettuces like green leaf lettuce, red leaf lettuce, romaine, even iceberg lettuce could be, mixed in there. So the different lettuces. But then there's also butter lettuce is another really good one. Mustard greens are nice. But and then the cruciferous vegetables, which are the next pillar of the 5-star salad. You want to have a little bit of cruciferous vegetables, in my opinion, in your salad. So you've got your base greens of whatever lettuces you enjoy, the pound. And then and the pound can be a combination of both of these, right? So the next thing you want to add is a little bit of cruciferous to get, the additional phytochemicals and also a little more bulkiness to it. Because that's, kale is like it's like what they say, it's like the beef of greens, or the beef of vegetables, right? It's like it gives you that more hearty feeling when you eat it. So I would say my favorite green is probably, gosh, I don't know. I love arugula, but I don't use that as like the base of my salads usually. If I'm gonna for my base greens, romaine is probably, or green leaf lettuce. I really like green leaf lettuce too. So especially when you get it from the farmer's market, that makes any green that you eat, takes it to another level. Like when I eat from the store, which I am right now because it's winter time or going into spring. But during the summer, we get all of our greens basically from the farmer's market, and it's like next level. Everything tastes better. It's way fresher. It's just amazing. So yeah, I would just say just basic stuff for me is my favorites, is green leaf or romaine for my base greens. But yeah, and
I don't even know what that is, Tessa. Radicchio? Did I say it right?
Oh yeah, I think it's radicchio. It might be a radicchio. You're probably right.
A little too catchy with it, right?
Radicchio. Yeah, it's the little. It looks like a little head of a little kitty.
He's found something outside the window. Thankful for the bug that it's outside the window.
Oh sure, yep.
It's like he's after it.
Nice. Yeah, my little guy does that too. My little kitty. Yeah, radicchio is it's a little red green, or a little red thing of lettuce. Usually comes in like a little ball.
I'll have to try it.
Yeah, I think it's what's in like those mixes, those lettuce mixes, the little red
the boxes.
That have like shredded carrots and thing, and the little red leaves in there. I think that's radicchio or radicchio.
Radicchio. I think you're right. I've heard it now that I think about it.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's good too. Sometimes that's at my grocery store, but not always. So I do like to get it when it's there. All right. So yeah, the two pillars we've got so far is the pound of leafy greens, the little bit of cruciferous. The next one is a green leafy herb. All right. So I love fresh herbs like cilantro or parsley or dill or basil. These are great to add into the salads. They add just that burst of flavor. It also adds a lot of more antioxidants and different phytonutrients that are so important. And so yeah, adding that in is going to take it up another notch. The next pillar is going to be, you want to have at least 5 different colors in your salad. So this is why the colors are the maybe the most important thing that we consume, right? The colors are what bring in all the different spectrums of light from the sun that the plants turn into nutrients. They indicate, different nutrients based on the color, and all these different nutrients have profound impacts on our genetic expression, on the metabolic pathways that are activated in our bodies that promote health or promote disease, right? We want to bring in the colors to activate the metabolic pathways and the genetics that promote health, because that's what they do. They regulate our healthy genetic expression and all these things. So, and they're antioxidants on their own. They scavenge free radicals, and they also increase the production of endogenous. I was going to say exogenous, but so the internal creation of antioxidants that our body creates on its own, like glutathione. When we consume these things, it enhances the production of these endogenous antioxidant systems in our body. So, getting all of these colors into the diet is so important. And so that's why I say at least get 5 different colors, which again isn't really that difficult. It's like carrots, red onion, you got your greens in there. You can put in maybe some mushrooms and, lemon. And then that's 5 right there, and that's just one quick example. So there's many different, tomatoes.
You could have your red pepper, I guess like green, red pepper. What else could you put in there? That's interesting. I like that because it actually adds that variety to it.
Yes.
I was just thinking of something when you were talking about all those good things we can give our body, is that sometimes we look at, like, at least like I did a while ago, like a car, the things that it's like, if you look at your car, like your digestion, you feed it the right, what it wants, like when you first would get a car, you want to know what it takes, like what type of, oil. That would be like knowing what the human is supposed to eat to make it run right. And then the resting your digestion too at certain periods of time would be, because people are like, don't run your car all the time, you know what I mean? I'm like, it's funny how sometimes we tend to treat our inanimate objects better than we treat our own body. So I love this that you're sharing with people how to incorporate this in and telling them exactly how, because everybody can say, yeah, eat a salad, and people are thinking, oh, I got to eat lettuce and cucumber every night. But this salad sounds, like what do you call it? I don't know, a 5-star salad, I guess.
Yeah.
Boomer and Beyond Wellness said, as females, dark greens are supreme importance. Lighter greens are wonderful for sulforaphane. The dark greens are helpful with minerals, especially important for females. Yeah. I notice I feel a lot better when I incorporate, greens, and the world has tried to scare people out of them, right?
Yeah.
I think that's, we have to look at where the where information comes from, but that's exactly interesting. Thank you for sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
And then one of the things that I hear a lot is, though, but I don't know what to put on the salad, because you mentioned this a while ago, and I like, what do you call it? Kind of, it resonated with me because I used to do it too. I used to put a ton of salad, like, ranch, almost more than what was the salad in my bowl previous to going raw vegan. So what do you, I know you have some, is that the book? I bet Muriel might have been talking about a book like that, because I know you share a lot of really cool dressings.
Yeah, thank you. And that is the 5th and final pillar of the 5-star salad, is to have a homemade, whole food, plant-based dressing. For me, the dressings are the most important part of the salad for most people. Today, I can pretty much go, I don't need as much dressing as I used to on my salads, but for a lot of people just getting into learning how to enjoy salads, the dressing makes the difference. And so if you can learn how to make a delicious homemade dressing, which is so simple, and I teach people how to do that in my books, in both 5-Star Salad Revolution and 21-Day Raw Transformation Program. It's more simple than you think, and you don't have to make, you don't have to get these like crazy hard to find ingredients or really expensive ingredients. It's an easy thing you can do to really increase the nutrient profile as well as the satisfaction of the salad. And The thing with my salad dressings, which I appreciate that other people appreciate, is making them simple. So I can give people, just a quick like template for building their own, because I love giving people salad dressings that I enjoy, which I've got probably like 45 or maybe even 50 salad dressings between my 21-day raw transformation program and 5-star salad revolution in those books. And those are some dressings that I absolutely love. Every single one of them are delicious. Like I love them all. And there's in 20 or in 5-star salad revolution, there's 22 dressings, and 17 are nut or seed based, and then there's 5 that are fat free. And I just use like dried fruits and things in those. And so, but a quick template for anybody out there that wants to start experimenting with their own and creating their own is you want to use. So I like to use a base of nuts or seeds. And so I'll use 3 tablespoons of nuts or seeds as the base of the dressing. That's going to give it the creaminess and really caloric density to it. And then you want to have an acid in there. So I either use a lemon or a lime. Usually it's a lemon. Depends on what's at the store. But I'll use about a half a lemon. Cut the lemon in half. Just peel off the yellow and throw the entire the whole thing in. You don't have to juice it. You don't have to squeeze it. You just throw the whole thing in.
Okay.
That's going to give it some bulk too, and just some additional fiber and nutrients. So then the next, I like to add a little bit of sweetness. So I like to put in 1 or 2 dates into the dressing as well. So put in 1 or 2 medjool dates. It's going to give it the sweetness. And then
I love a little bit of sweetness in the dressing too.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. It's really nice. And then from there, really, it's kind of just on your own, preferences with the different spices that you want to throw in. You could do a little bit of mustard if you eat mustard. Otherwise, just any spices that you want to throw in there is going to be, great. You can throw in maybe a garlic clove. You can maybe throw in a little bit of onion, or, just dry spices, paprika, Cajun, fajita seasoning, anything that you want it to taste like, you can make it taste like. And so and then for the liquid, you can do something like, depending on the flavor you want, you could do a juice of some sort, like celery juice or orange juice, if you have that. But really, you just need water. I use water in almost all of mine. So I just use like about like 3/4 of a cup. See, now I forget what's actually in the book, because now I usually make my dressings in batch style. So I make large portions, and I always do 2 cups of water. But with the 3 tablespoons, that wouldn't work. That would be way too much water. So I think it's 3/4 of a cup for the average, just like 1 to 2 serving size, portion. But yeah, so that's really as easy as it gets. Is just a few nuts or seeds, maybe some dates, some lemon or lime. And some people even like apple cider vinegar, and then whatever spices that you want to make it taste like. And you're off and running. You can just pour that on, and you can I would say start off with less water, because I know a lot of people like a little bit thicker of dressings a lot of times. But if you like it runnier, then you'll add a little bit more. But I think it's better to start off with less water and add a little bit as you go than adding way too much water, and then it's just like a soupy mess. So
Yeah, that's awesome. And then you have extra, like some people say, well, I don't have time every night to make a salad dressing, and it's like, if you make it like, you mentioned, you can have it, for a while in there, the dressing will keep, right? I think for a bit. And I love that because I think a lot of people feel like to have creamy, like at least I did, you have to have like some type of milk, and you're doing it with the actual nuts. So that's amazing. I think that's what a lot of people strive for when they're looking for a dressing. They want some people like the vinaigrette type, but most people I've found, especially since they made us crazed about ranch in the world, putting it on everything, people want
Yes.
something like that. So I love that. And I know we're getting close to the end since we had those difficulties. I just wanted to know at some point if you wouldn't mind coming back on, because there's so much more in depth we could get into with each of these things. I have like tons of questions, but I know I have Dave, who's one of our group members in Veganowledge, coming up too. So
Sure.
but I know we wanted to make this a bit earlier because I think we forgot that it was probably a Sunday, that there wasn't,
Yeah.
the things moved them early. So I appreciate it. There was another question that I wanted to ask. Can you go through the 5-star digestion really quick and what that's about? I know you
Yeah.
mentioned you had constipation. I didn't want to miss on that one because I think that's important. Like, I didn't realize how important digestion was until this year. I was experiencing it, but I didn't know why.
Yeah, I mean that's such a common thing that, especially in the U.S., so many people are constipated. But yeah, thanks for asking. And yes, I would love to come back on anytime. So just let me know. Yeah, so 5-star digestion. That's also one of my favorite books that I have. It's so in 5-star digestion, I cover the diet, the environmental, and the lifestyle factors that impact our digestion. So there's 10 key points, and I organize them into what I call the Flora Power Protocol. And so that's an acronym. So Flora is the first one, and that's the dietary factors. And then that's what the flora is, how you build up your flora. It's how you build up your good gut bacteria. The power section of the acronym is the how you empower those flora that you have built up with lifestyle and environmental factors. So yeah, it's a short book, but I think it's powerful. I think it covers a lot of the things that are really important when we're looking at the environment that we are giving our body in order to create the good microbiome that we need to have good health. So yeah, it's here. Let me grab it here.
Okay, I think I might have the picture too. I'll let you share it first.
Yeah. So here it is. It's got me with the papaya on the front there, out in the woods. So, I mean,
There it is.
there it is.
A little
Yes.
closer up. I just tried a papaya last week.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
How did you like it?
I liked it. Yeah, it wasn't as like the first time I bought one. I think I bought it way too underripe.
Yeah, that's easy to do.
Didn't try it for like another year. And then I was like, wait, this one was much better. It was definitely like a sweet fruit, kind of like melon-like kind of to me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of I was trying to say on camera what it tasted like when I tried it on YouTube, and I couldn't really get my head around what it was. Like, it was just an interesting, like it was good though, like I felt like I wanted to say strawberry for a second when I first tasted it, but it wasn't a strawberry after I got like going with it, but it was good.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
healthy,
I mean,
I know that, right?
oh, 100%. Yeah, they're amazing. And yeah, if you get a good one, so sometimes they have kind of like a coffee flavor. Those are my favorite ones, is when they have like a coffee flavor to them. Yeah, they're kind of difficult to describe the taste, but yeah, I love them. But I don't get them that often because they are a little more difficult to find like a good ripeness, right? Like a lot of times they're not even close to being ripe. And sometimes they don't ripen correctly. So I don't buy them as much as I used to, but when I do, I absolutely love them. So yeah, I mean, do you want any do you have any specific questions about the book? Like, do you want me to go
Just
over anything
I wanted
specifically?
to know, like, just for people to know, and I think it's important to just read the book start to finish because I'm sure you build up what you're trying to tell us within the book. But can you just share what does digestion have to do with our overall health, like our body healing and the way that it works? Because that's one of the things that surprised me was I didn't realize, isn't it, I might have heard this wrong, but the most work that our body has to do, it's like it is always internally working, and that's why we're kind of overworking it with standard American food.
Yeah, for sure. They say that the digestion requires about something like 80% of the nerve energy in our body to complete the process. And which is why when you eat a big heavy meal, you get tired, right? Like I think most people, like Thanksgiving or really any big event where they eat a lot of food, a lot of heavy food, they just kind of get tired and they take a nap or whatever. So yeah, it is a very energy intensive process that is essential for, the health of our body. Like that's what turns the food we eat into usable nutrients that our body can utilize. So, if you have impaired digestion, you're getting less from the food that you're spending your money on, right? So the ideal situation would be to create an environment and create a digestive tract that is as efficient and you know as effective as possible for breaking down the food, drawing out the nutrients and being able to utilize them and eliminate them in an efficient manner. Because that's what it's all part of the whole thing. You got your digestion, you've got your absorption, your utilization, and your elimination. So you
It's
can't
like a
forget.
well-oiled machine that has to work from start to finish, right?
Yes, exactly. If you mess up one of those, which most people are messing up the elimination part of it because of what they're taking in, that's creating some issues with why they can't eliminate properly. That's going to cause issues with all the other processes as well. So you really gotta optimize all of these portions of the whole process. And the great news is that one of the best ways to do that, it's not like rocket science or anything. You just eat hydrating whole foods, right? Fruits and vegetables. You can, put in those blended nuts and seeds. You can eat just plain nuts and seeds, but I recommend, so a big thing, and this is what I'm writing about in the current book that I'm writing, is about the importance of wet food. All right. So we are naturally designed to consume food that is hydrating, fruits and vegetables. When we consume foods that are dehydrated or lack water content, we put a strain on the digestive system and it requires the body to use its internal reserves of water. And so we are, what they say, somewhere around 70% water we're supposed to be, our bodies, our adult bodies. And then they say as you age, you start to reduce the percentage of water in your body. And I don't think that's a natural thing. I think that is just a consequence of unnatural living that most people are participating in. And so that's why they see a decrease in the percentage of water content of our bodies as we age.
Is
Now
that why our skin probably dries,
yeah,
a little bit, wrinkles and
yep,
things like that? I mean, not that we can save them all, but
yeah,
I'm getting
ex-
some a little bit around there, a lot of them.
yeah, exactly. A little bit of that sort of stuff is just going to happen regardless. But most people are very dehydrated, and without proper water content within the body and within our foods, we're going to be causing obstructions, and we're going to be causing some inhibition of those processes. And so, our two main systems of the body, the blood and the lymph, they're water-based systems, right? So that's another reason you need to eat wet food, hydrating food. So when you do this, it's not only going to make it easier to break down and digest the food, because fruits, I mean, they're practically they're practically pre-digested, almost. So they're super simple for the body to break down and to digest and absorb. And then also the same, they create the least metabolic waste products when we digest them. So as the body breaks things down, it creates different byproducts and things. And when we digest things that are very difficult, especially like animal products, there's a lot of nitrogenous waste, which is very acidic. There's other, chemicals that are in those foods that the body has to work to eliminate. And so when you're eating whole foods, fresh fruits and vegetables, they are perfectly designed to be digested, absorbed, and eliminated without causing excessive, detrimental byproducts. So they're the cleanest foods we can eat. They give us the cleanest energy. They give us the clearest brain function, and the easiest elimination. And so, basing your diet around fresh, hydrating fruits and vegetables is going to be the first step in my little
kitties wanted to make an appearance on this one, right? They're like, you didn't have us on. We didn't get a link.
Exactly.
Kitty link.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a big reason why I think fruits and vegetables should be a staple in anybody's diet. Regardless if you're vegan or not, you should definitely be consuming more hydrating wet foods. And so. Yeah, I mean,
welcome J&J video, Dawn. She wants to know, what about nuts?
Yeah, nuts are also a great food. Nuts would be in what I call the yellow light category of my raw food traffic light system. So the green light foods are the whole, fresh, hydrating fruits and vegetables that you can eat raw. The yellow light foods are going to be the higher. You can eat them raw, or you can eat them cooked. There's if you want to eat steamed vegetables, I would say steamed potatoes and things, starches, beans, rice, these sorts of things, I would say are in the yellow light category. So the green light foods, that's like the bulk of your diet. The yellow light foods are supporting those green light foods. So if it's going to make it more sustainable for you to add some cooked starches in with your salad, it should be, in my opinion, it should be a smaller portion than the raw foods. And then also the high fat raw foods like the nuts and the seeds and the avocado would fall into that category as well. So they can be eaten for sure, and I think they're healthful foods. They have a lot of great minerals and protein and healthy fats and all these phytochemicals that are so important. But if we eat too high fat, that's going to be another thing that slows down the digestion, makes it much more difficult for the body to eliminate. So you want to just eat them in smaller portions. That's why, in my salad dressings, it's 3 tablespoons. That's the max that I'll put in, because I like to keep the fat relatively low compared to, the standard American eater. So with nuts and seeds, I also would say it's not required, but if you want to, you could soak and dehydrate them so that you soak them, you get rid of some of the phytic acid, you get rid of some of those enzyme inhibitors that some people have issues with in digesting their fats or their nuts and seeds. But also, if you're going to use them, I do recommend, for the most part, blend them into a dressing, into your salad, because again, that's gonna turn a dry nut or seed into a wet food, which is what I'm kind of focusing on in the book, is wet foods. And that's going to just help, again, with the digestion, with the absorption, with the elimination of it. So, nuts and seeds are great. I have them, several times a week in my salads. And so, I think it's good.
I think I know why she might have answered that question, because she's on, like, I think you're probably eating nuts right now, right? Like on your those almonds, right? But they're a good one. I told her that's like one of the I think it's one of the healthier ones. I've been addicted to Blue Diamond almonds, I told you. And I'm like that with avocados. I have to limit my fat with avocados, even though that's really the only fat I get. So I do eat a lot of it in my salads, but like
Sure.
to me it kind of adds a bit of filler, like especially if you're new. I feel like, you do need
Yeah.
that nut-based dressing or something, because your body hasn't, like, there's days now where I just only want fruit, and I kind of do have my salad because I know how it's important at night, but sometimes it's like your body starts craving what you're giving it to. Like, you can't
Yes.
imagine right now if you're on like burgers and fries to think, how are these people sustaining themselves on fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds? It happens. And I just asked, I let Dave know we'd probably begin his interview at about 11:10. But before we go and wrap up, I just wanted to know, yeah, and she said she's eating the avocados guacamole, her famous
Nice.
guacamole too.
Nice.
I wanted to say, can you just take us through, like, to end, like, any last thoughts, but also what you eat in a day? I know you have a little acronym that you use there, so that if people wanted to know that, because I think everyone, and whenever I watch a video, I'm like, wonder what they eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to. I definitely, so, um, the thing is, I'll just say really quick, is that you have to, especially if you're in the earlier days of this lifestyle. I used to eat like 6 avocados at a time, right? So that used to be like a thing for me. And I used to eat a lot of almonds too, by the handful. So in the beginning, that worked out well for me, as I was transitioning away from my past diet, which was higher fat anyways. But it also just gave me, just kind of that same satiating feeling of getting in those higher fat foods. But over time, I felt better as I reduced that down. And so you got to realize, as you're going through this journey, it's your body is going to adjust. Things are going to start changing, and you'll be able to tell when it's time to start kind of adjusting things a little bit. And so yeah, I did the same thing, and some people change, like I did, and now I'm much lower fat, and some people like to keep going with that. So you just find what works best for you, and maybe experiment a little bit here and there with lower fat, see how you feel for a few days, and then go back to the higher fat and see how that goes.
I guarantee you'll probably feel a little better on the lower, but like Dawn was saying, she eats a lot of grapes and mandarins. Yeah, like
Oh
mostly
yeah,
all throughout the day. That's her. So I think that hydration helps, I'm sure, move it along, and drinks lots of water and things like that.
for sure. Yeah,
Thank
exactly.
you, Dave. If you're on here too, I appreciate your patience. We had a tech issue. I was trying to plan these right, but we started a little late, and then we got into this digestion conversation. I appreciate you.
Yes,
Just tell me
sorry
that's it.
about
I'm
that, Dave.
sorry.
So yeah, I'll make it really quick.
No, it's okay. I think he just got I was just concerned. I didn't know if he had, I didn't want him in the dark about what was
Sure.
happening. So thank you so much. And I'll I changed the little time thing on here too. So thank you both. I'm so excited about both the guests from now, and I'll plan them blocks of 2 hours. I don't really have two. I'm excited because two people wanted to actually talk to me. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, I'm so popular.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, right. I'm begging you guys to come on, right?
No,
That's like you were beating my door down. No, I'm
you
just
didn't
kidding.
need to beg me. No. Um, so how I eat in a day, as JJ mentioned, I do have an acronym that I help people just kind of give them an idea of how to set it up. So this is what I call my daily meal design. It just is SFS. All right. So that stands for smoothie, fruit, salad. And that's basically how I organize every single one of my days. I have a big, massive smoothie to start my day, almost every single day. For lunch, and in that smoothie, it's a lot of fruit and greens as well. So I've usually got like 10 bananas, even some dates sometimes, some celery or some other greens, and maybe a little bit of chia seed, if I want. But yeah, so then for lunch, for fruit, I just have a big fruit meal. It's basically just like, right now we're in orange season. I have like 7 oranges and maybe an apple or two or whatever, maybe a few dates. And then, so that's my lunch. And then for dinner, I have my big 5-star salad. And over the last, little while, It could almost be adjusted. And the SFS is, again, it's just a general template that I give people that they can try and then adjust it to how, works best for them. And so recently, I've been having like a vegetable soup with my salad. And so it could be SFSS, right? Smoothie fruit salad soup. And so, yeah, I'll just have that anytime I have cooked food. It's almost always prepared in the Instant Pot, and it's almost always like a vegetable soup of some sort. And so I'll just have that with my salad, and so that works out really well for me. And so that's pretty much, I mean, literally 99.9% of my days, that's the routine that I go through for my diet.
That's amazing. It sounds pretty similar to the way that I eat, except I don't have smoothies. I
Okay.
tend to just, but I definitely want to get into that a little bit more with you because I'm interested. Like, you hear so many different things about whether to have fruit in smoothies and have this, and so it's difficult for people. I like that you organize it in such a simplified way and make it so practical because sometimes people they might not know like where to go with it. Like, you just hear all this, like, how do you eat? Like, I didn't even realize I was supposed to be eating fruit in the beginning. Really, it's how good it is
Yeah.
for us in our digestion because we were scared away from fruit in the standard American diet in a lot of ways. So I love that. And I feel so much better on days I eat the bulk of my food. Even in my salad, it's almost like a fruit salad, because it's got the
Yeah.
cucumbers, a lot of hydrating things in there, but then also the greens and stuff. So I love everything you're doing, and the way that you became inspired, and you've helped like everyone from kids to people who want to change, their diets. Oh yeah, that's true. She said we need to bring our morning smoothies back. We used to drink them. We did. This was like even before we were even vegan or raw vegan. We just did that. So I'm like, it probably makes sense to do that. So that would get the digestion kind of
Yeah.
in a good note, hydrate without all that work to do throughout the day. I'm like, I already have a lot of energy. What would that do to me? People may not want to even be around me. Just calm down.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the emotional and well-being that you felt, like the changes there, that's something I would love to delve in more with you, and the
Yeah.
juicing and just how you incorporate that into your life and everything. There's just so much to cover, but I appreciate all the time you've given us. I know you're busy, and I appreciated Dave coming on after you. And I'm like in awe listening to you because I've heard a lot of your interviews, and I'm like, wow, he's on here with all these cool books. So I know we have all the links in there. Is Amazon the best place to review and buy your books?
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me on. It's a pleasure and an honor. Yeah, for if you want the ebook, you can get it on my website. But if you want a paperback physical book, yeah, Amazon's the place to go.
And that's myrawintuition.com. And I know
Yes.
on there you do offer some services, like some help if you need help. As you can see, he's so knowledgeable, like, and so, like, kind of easygoing. There's a lot of people out there that seem like they would be very like pushy with this. I love the way you help people kind of incorporate it into their life. So where else could we find you? I think Instagram too, right?
Yeah, yeah, and thank you for those kind words. Yeah, Instagram, YouTube, and then my website. You can sign up to my newsletter. I try to put out news. I'm not the greatest at being consistent with that, but I get one out every now and then. So yeah, definitely sign up to my newsletter if you're interested, and I'd be happy to receive any messages. People can reach out to me at my website or just comment on any of my videos.
That is amazing. Thank you so much. And YouTube is where I find him, and he does two, like, really, I think two or three shows. I know you do like an interview with people, and you do the top six. I love those. Like, you come up, you and the other guests come up with like the top six, tips to. I think the last one was improve like was it emotional well-being? I forget the one, but I really enjoyed that. And then you
Thank you.
also do the game show, which, I was laughing with everyone. I'm like, I wanted to be on a game show since I was a kid. And then I wanted to be a game show host at one point, like as my nerdy little 12-year-old self walking around with the microphone. And I'm like, I got to be on a real game show.
Yeah.
So you guys check that out. It's a really fun YouTube. It's called Raw Intuition, and the website myrawintuition.com. And I hope you both, what is it? Your wife or your girlfriend that we saw in the videos?
We're not technically married, but my partner. Yeah.
Well, you both have an enjoyable day. I love the videos where you both share your meals and things. So it's awesome.
Thank you.
And is there anything else you wanted to mention in closing that we might not have covered?
I mean, I guess just a tiny bit of inspiration for people out there. I talk about this in 21-day Raw Transformation Program. Go into this with an open mind. I call it the 3 Ps. Getting a little tickle in my throat now. So yeah, be practical with your approach to this. Don't think you have to do everything overnight. Make it something that's sustainable for yourself. And then also be patient with yourself, because it's not, like I just said, it's not going to happen overnight. And then also be persistent. So if things don't go perfectly one day, don't give up. Just keep going, keep adding more fresh fruits and vegetables into your diet, and get good sleep, work on your relationships. There's all these different things, but if you can keep adding in a little bit more fresh fruits and vegetables to your diet every single day, I am sure that you're going to start to feel better. You're going to start to see things in your life unfold, and it'll just be incredible. And again, just feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything, and I'd be happy to help you along the way.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much for the inspiration and for sharing, your journey from where you were as a kid. And I know a lot of us out there, we're experiencing these issues, a lot of people that they feel like they have no control of. And I think one of the things that you've, taught us in your journey and so many others is that, that food, what we eat really does matter. And what we're ultimately trying to do is allow our body to do its work. And I'm just glad you're feeling better, and we really enjoy your channel and all your work. And everyone here, Muriel said thank you, looking forward to seeing you again. And I'm excited for more conversations whenever you're free. So thank you so much.
Thank you. And thank you everybody for being here and the kind words. So yeah, I enjoyed it, and I look forward to the next time too.
Thank you, Matt. Matt from Raw Intuition. Go check out his YouTube channel and his books, and they're amazing. If you need some help being guided how to do this, check out the website, myrawintuition.com. All right, everybody that came, thank you so much. Muriel, thank you. Dave, I know you're listening in. Thank you so much. Can't wait to hear your journey. Dawn from J&J Video Reacts. Everybody check out all their channels here. And Boomer and Beyond Wellness, thank you so much for joining. Sherry has an awesome YouTube channel. Tessa, thank you so much for always being here. I really appreciate you. And hopefully I didn't miss anyone that popped in, as I was so intrigued by the conversation. I was even taking notes on part of it because I'm into this studying holistic health since the show, right?
Awesome.
When I come on again.
Yeah.
Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and thank you so much for all the valuable information.
My pleasure. Thank you.